Sometimes the world looks like you ain't ever seen it before. Stuck behind never-ending windows, all you need is a door. Searching for something to put a smile back on your face. Just remember, in unusual times it can come from an unusual place. You need a partner for the ride, 'cause everybody needs a Clyde. So set your worries to the side. Just ask, say the word and I'll be there. Just ask, you know the greatest things in life all come in a pair. They say hindsight's 20/20, but that ain't far enough behind me. So if you want the sweetest honey, I think hindsight's 1990. There's no need to pretend I got a hand I can lend, 'cause when you really need a friend, just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.
Welcome back to Shit 90 Shows Taught Me. I'm Jess Sterling here in my depression era because we have to talk about what happened on this episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Sara Fergenson. Sarah, how are you?
Happy Hoko. I am so happy to celebrate homecoming with you. We are coming home to the drama. We are coming home to a love triangle, love square, really. I couldn't be happier this Hoko season. Ho.
I am so upset. Let me tell you, the rage that was inside of me during this episode for many reasons, but mostly, and if you were like listen, just get out of here right now because I'm about to spoil a big thing. Willow and Xander have now kissed, and it is so upsetting. And here's the thing, Sarah, when that scene started where they're trying on different outfits, first of all, in the same room, which is a little weird. Second of all, it's weird that Willow has one of those like I don't even, what do they call those walls?
It's a screen,
like a dressing screen thing.
Yeah.
A little strange, whatever. But the whole time, you know, I'm very tuned into the music of these shows, you know, and it was very like romantic music. And I was a little concerned because I'm like, why are they playing romance music when Willow and Xander are like in a scene together? And then they got closer. And then she was standing very close to his face, and I was getting more and more upset. And here's the thing, Sarah. We're just starting off strong. We're going to start off with the Willow and Xander of it all because I'm so upset about this. We know Willow always had this crush on Xander, whatever, right? She was with Oz. I thought she was like the happiest little clam ever. And then suddenly, Xander, it's not until Willow puts on the Vavavoom dress that Xander is like, oh, I feel like I'm seeing you for the first time. Bitch, she just looks hot. Get the fuck out of here, Xander. Get out of here. I'm so upset, Sarah. And you seem downright giddy. And I'm devastated and depressed.
It kind of, when you said that, it kind of just reminded me of the beauty pageant episode of Dawson's Creek, where Joey put on the pretty dress for the first time. And he's like, oh, wow, you're actually hot.
We raked him across the coals for that comment.
Yes, we did. However, I am older and I am a different headspace than I was back then. And I'm loving it. Like,
what's wrong with you? Okay. Do you not like Oz? Do you not like Cordelia? Do you not care about their feelings?
I mean, like, the thing is that like we are watching television, right? Like, these are not like quote unquote real people. What did you expect? Like Oz and Willow and Cordelia and Xander to be together forever as hey, let me just finish my sentence. As a monogamous couple for the end of time, and that's it, and they're going to get married and have babies. No, these are teenagers. These are stupid teenagers. We're going to make stupid mistakes. We're going to ruin perfectly healthy relationships and hurt like people's feelings. And we are going to act upon our animalistic instincts, even though we're not werewolves. And we're just going to make some stupid ass mistakes. And I think like for the sake of good TV, I was loving it. Like, I just love the mess. Like, I think it's so freaking funny that these two idiots are ruining a perfectly good relationship for each other when they had like their whole entire lives to get together. It's so stupid. But facts are facts, and Willow looked fucking sexy as hell in that black dress, and she was absolutely irresistible, and Xander looked good too. So they just had to have each other in that moment. Is it fucked? Maybe. I don't know. But they were acting on instinct, and they had to kiss, and I was kind of here for it because, like I said, like, I'm here for the drama, and this is the drama. I was tickled. I thought it was so funny.
Willow is better than this.
Is she though?
Yes. And
How
here's
do you know?
the thing.
She's 17 years old. How do you know she's better than this?
Because we've had 2 full seasons of proof that she's better than this. And here's the situation, right? Like, I also think it's very interesting that I don't feel like there was any sort of lead up to this beyond knowing that Willow previously harbored feelings for Xander. Obviously, there was never any sort of inclination that Xander felt similarly. I don't think he ever did feel similarly. And now we have a situation where all of a sudden they're in a room together and romantic music is playing and then they're kissing, and I'm freaking out because I'm like, how did we get here? Like, we're 5 episodes into season 3. So, and I didn't think Oz and Willow were like going to get married or anything. I did feel like they were endgame. It felt like Waz was just like a destined sort of like fan favorite relationship. So I definitely thought they were going to last longer than this. Not that they're over currently yet, but what's more concerning to me is not that they had a one-off kiss, but that now it seems like there's some sort of like feelings developing or something. I mean, Willow already had the feelings, right? We already said this. Willow has harbored the feelings, but Xander basically is like, you looked sexy in a dress. We've kissed once. Fuck Cordelia. How are we going to be together? And it's just like, sir, what is actually happening right now? And I think my biggest like problem with all of this is that Xander is a fucking fuckboy nugget. I can't even. I hate him so much that he's going to ruin precious baby Willow with his nonsense chicanery. And I'm not here for it. And also, wait, this is in the same episode that Cordelia says to Buffy that she loves Xander. And so it's like, oh my fucking God, here we go.
Yeah. So, okay. So in terms of, we've not seen any evidence to support that Xander has had feelings for Willow. I would like to take you back to the season 2 premiere. Oh no. Yes. The season 2 premiere of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where we see Xander and Willow walking. They spent all summer together. They had a really nice summer. They were making jokes.
The ice cream situation, right?
Yeah, they were playing the movie game, and there's the ice cream situation, and they were about to kiss, except Buffy came home. I think that if Xander gets distracted, he is like a dog with a ball. Like if he just like had the tunnel vision on Willow, I think that this kiss would have happened many moons ago. And
he's thinking with his dick. Can I ask? This is a very sharp memory on you for remembering that, because I had long forgotten that scene. But was that prior to him dating Cordelia?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, interesting. So he has this little moment with Willow. Then him and Cordelia end up making out, and then they become an item. Willow freaks out, is very upset about it. They each kind of, Oz, she meets Oz, they start dating, kind of go their separate ways. And then it was just an interesting setup too, Sarah, because obviously, like, they both walk from around the corner. They're in these like really nice outfits. They both look great. Like, of course, I'll give Xander the credit as like, he looks good in a suit. What man doesn't? But the interesting thing is, like, I felt like they were getting close when they were like reminiscing, where she was talking, oh, do you remember you had the clip-on tie back when we were going to like whatever middle school dance or something like that?
Yeah.
And so she's playing on the history there. And obviously, I think we both know Willow has had a crush on Xander for probably forever. It's just one of those things. So I'm not necessarily, and yes, both of them are at fault. They're both in relationships. They're both technically like cheating on their partners, whatever. But I fault more Xander than I do Willow. Of course you do.
You're such an asshat.
No. Hear me out. Because Willow has harbored these feelings for literal years. And she likes Xander for the person he is, not like the clothes he's wearing. She likes him for the human being that he is. Whereas Xander doesn't develop any sort of feeling for Willow until he sees her in a hot dress. And then he's like, I feel like I just haven't seen you and clearly until now. And it's like, no, sir, you just saw her looking sexy in a dress and you're like, I need to get me a piece of that. That's where I get annoyed, because Xander knows that, not only that, but Xander knows Willow's feelings. Yeah. And so he's messing with fire here. He's messing with their friendship and he's messing with fire.
Okay. So like my question to you is, like, you can definitely fall in love with somebody's personality and like them as a person, but if you're not attracted to them, how is it going to work out? We see this all the time in Love is Blind. Right? Like, they connect in the pods and they love each other's personalities, and then they see each other and it's like, hi, guy, like, you are tiny compared to me. I thought you were going to be a big football player, right? And now all of a sudden the ick comes. But if you become attracted to them, then it's like, oh, hey, I'm attracted to you. I like your personality. Now you're a viable option. And I don't really blame Xander for like not being attracted to Willow. Everybody's into like different strokes for different folks. Like, yeah, like, of course, it'd be nice if everybody found the other person equally as attractive as you find them. But that doesn't always happen. I just think that, like, maybe sometimes for a stupid teenage boy, sometimes it just takes some time to click. Like, I'm sorry for bringing up this like Dawson and Joey comparison again, but it's kind of like the same thing. Like, who's to say that Dawson didn't always harbor feelings for Joey deep down, but it wasn't until she put on the pretty dress and was like, oh, I'm attracted to her. Like, it clicks. Like,
it's just such a cop out though, that like, oh, now that you're wearing a pretty dress, now I'm attracted to you. No, give the credit to Oz, who liked Willow when she was wearing those Uggo bucket hats and freaking she's wearing freaking overalls in her school picture and she's in a senior or whatever the heck. Like, this is not, Xander is not a person who likes Willow for her personality. That is his friendship with Willow. He likes her as a person. But I would be devastated if it was like, oh, suddenly I'm wearing a nice dress and you're attracted to me, when you've shown no romantic interest in me up until this moment. It just feels like, and it's just like, it's typical Xander behavior. It's just that he thinks with his dick constantly. Yes. And Willow is a sweet baby angel, and he's gonna ruin her. And on top of that, he's gonna ruin Oz. And already Oz looks a little depressed this episode, so I'm a little concerned about him.
Yeah, I mean, of course, Oz looks a little depressed. Now, I refuse for you to be like, Willow's a sweet baby angel, where she was an equal participant in this kiss. Like,
yes, from her years and years of being in love with Xander. Yeah. You're telling me that like, this is
stupid. It's
no, for Willow, this is No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
For Willow, this is her what if. This is her like great love, right? In her mind, this is the one that got away sort of situation. And she's been thinking when she talks about like, oh, when I was a kid, I used to dream of like going to a dance with a boy and blah, 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 blah. In her fantasy, Xander was the boy. Like there are years and years of unreciprocated feelings built up there. Whereas Xander is just like, she looks hot, must kiss mouth. Like that's it.
Let's live in a world where we hold our like daughters as responsible as our sons. Willow put herself in this position by changing in front of him pretty much. Like
she was behind a screen. Stop. She didn't change in front of him. There was no nudity at all.
Well, the illusion of nudity is almost as attractive as the actual nudity. I'm just saying, like, she put herself in this position. Like, I would not be changing behind a screen in the same room as like a guy friend when I have a partner. Would you?
I think different people have different boundaries.
No, like, and that's inappropriate. Like you're,
but like this is okay. So she's asking for it because she changed behind a screen. Like I'm not saying both of them didn't kiss each other.
They're not putting the correct boundaries up and respecting their relationship. Which like this whole thing is like based off like. She's not respecting Oz in her relationship.
Oh, I can agree with that. Yeah. So like, I think the biggest problem is if Willow doesn't wear this nice dress, the kiss doesn't happen. That's how I feel.
Sure, maybe. Yeah. Like I don't disagree with you that Xander is like a dog. Like, of course he's a dog. I'm just saying that we have to hold both parties responsible. I don't care if there's a old crush. Like she just spent the last season being in a relationship with Oz and saying like he loves me for me. Like she like thirsts after him while he's playing the band. Like, you know, even if it's an old crush and quote unquote old feelings, like I'm just saying that it's 50-50 like responsibility between the two of them. And both parties didn't respect their current relationships, which I think are better matches. And going to like the Cordelia of it all, I'm so upset for Cordelia, who admitted to Buffy that she's in love with Xander. And this is the episode where Xander once again disrespects her and disrespects their relationship. And I mean, I'm really, really hurt. I am really hurt for Cordelia. Like, I feel like I don't know, they probably did, but did Waz say I love yous yet? Or has it just been like,
we haven't seen that yet. No, we haven't seen it yet, but yeah. It's so difficult because this, like you said, once again, Xander disrespects Cordelia. This is not the first time that he has done something like this. The first time she doesn't even freaking know about. So like now he's doing this, and where I will agree with you on the Willow side.
I just want a clarification. Are you referring to like when Buffy came on to Xander and Xander?
No. I'm referring to the entire love spell thing in general, that entire episode, basically, where he basically wanted to put the love spell on her and make her love him and then break up with her.
Same episode. Yeah.
But I will agree with you that Willow is definitely at fault here. Like she's not getting away without me shaming her for doing this because
hold on. We don't sex shame anybody.
I'm sex shaming anybody.
No kink shaming her for sex shaming.
Kissing a gross guy like Xander. But the thing is it's really unfortunate because their partners, they're in decent relationships seemingly. And I think what's worse about all of this is they don't immediately fess up to anything. Like they're having these conversations like, what are we going to do? How are we going to deal with this? And it's like, first of all, you need to tell your freaking partner what you did, you dirty dog. Like you need to tell your partners that you done fucked up. And like maybe they don't until they figure out exactly what their plan is. Like, are they breaking up with their partners and going to be together? Or what are they doing next?
Yes. So if this is like a one-off, okay, if this is a one-off and these two never kiss again and don't want a further relationship, is there a reality where we don't tell our respective partners?
I think the answer is different if you're Willow and if you're Xander. We've seen Willow try to lie. No. I'm not saying they should or shouldn't. I'm saying the reality of the situation. In my opinion, you have to tell your partner, but that's not what reality we live in sometimes. Willow is a shitty liar. Willow sucks at lying. She cannot lie. I don't think she would be able to live with herself if she went on lying to Oz about this entire thing. Xander, I think, would be like, it was a blip. It's fine. Cordelia's probably kissed someone else. Who cares? Like, that's a mentality I think he would have. But I think this is going to come out sooner rather than later. I feel like we can only last an episode, maybe 2, without someone finding out in some way.
Especially with these two pouting like little whiny babies, especially at the Hoko dance. Like, once again, if you're going to do something naughty and nefarious, then you have to act chill and cool. You can't change your behavior. These two were like weeping on the sidelines. Yeah. No wonder Oz was having a terrible time at the dance. Willow looked like she just cheated on her partner.
And I think Cordelia could go a decent amount of time without catching on to anything because she's a little self-centered. Like, she's a little bit caught in her own world, and I don't know that she would necessarily notice. Oz is very tuned into Willow. I don't think she'd be able to pull off any sort of lie or manipulation for very long. So I don't know. Listen, I'm also here for the drama. I understand we're watching a teen drama and this sort of shit is going to happen, but it caught me completely off guard because Sarah, you know me, I've been worried about Xander and Buffy, not Xander and Willow. That was always off my radar because I'm like, oh, they're friends, it's whatever. So this caught me completely off guard and just like ruined me. I love Oz so much.
Ruined?
I was ruined. I watched this episode and I was devastated for Oz. I love him so much. I felt so bad for him. And I don't know where they're going to go from here. Like, I think we should make some predictions. Like, what is happening from here? Like, are Xander and Willow becoming a thing? Are we going to have a Zillow? Oh my God, like the website.
Maybe. I mean, I do think that Oz is probably cooked, but also he's in the opening credits, right? So he's not going anywhere. Yeah. But I out of respect, like I hope that both Cordelia and Oz are like, fuck you guys. Like, we do not deserve this crap. But
who's more likely to forgive, Oz or Cordelia?
I think Oz. I'm not quite sure. Like, I don't know. Like, Cordelia. I mean, Cordelia is such like a strong female character. I really loved her in this episode fighting with the Southern Cajun, Creole, whatever, Texan vampire.
The Gorches.
And she's like,
Mrs. Gorch.
She's like, I don't fucking care what you say to me. You want to like pull my eyes out, like slash my throat. I don't fucking care. You better get out of my face and leave, or else I will slay you. Like, her character is such, is like so strong-willed and such like a fun female character. And I don't typically see her as somebody who takes shit from like mid men. However, she is in love with a mid man, and sometimes the pretty perfect girls fall in love with the mid men and they break their hearts, and then they became like little shells in themselves. So I can also see that happening, because I'm telling you, like, the most mid men are the ones that are causing the harm, because we expect them to be good guys, and it's always the good guys, quote unquote,
the quote one,
that fucks the most shit up. Yep.
I'm gonna say that Oz and Cordelia find out within 2 episodes.
Sure.
I'm going to guess that Willow breaks things off with Oz. He's devastated because he would like to try to make it work. And I'm going to say Cordelia forgives Xander and they continue to date. And that Willow and Xander will not date. And maybe this is just wishful thinking, but that's my I don't know, because they were like holding hands as I was on Sarah. It was like so hard for me.
We all gotta make some dumb decisions when we're teenagers. That is something, once upon a time, I was a 16-year-old and I took a fucking Amtrak train to some guy that I met on a website called Habbo Hotel. And my sole intention going there was to lose my virginity. That was a fucking dumb decision. I should not have done that. And that is my truth to bear,
All right, let's move on from I'm gonna be so depressed. Let's move on from this. Let's move to one of the other storylines. Can we talk through, let's get this out of the way, because Angel is like, blink and you miss him. He's barely in the episode.
Yeah.
Where's Buffy getting just a gallon of blood to feed him?
The local American Red Cross site, I suppose.
And he's just chilling there. She occasionally brings him blood and he's like recovering, I suppose.
Yeah. She's trying to get him to heal because he's not well. And she doesn't want to tell anybody that he's back until he's 100% well. Do you think that different blood types taste differently? Is that what the story was in the True Blood?
That was the story in True Blood. Yes, different blood types tasted differently. Yeah. That's why there were like preferences. Vampires had preferences on the blood.
Do you have an example of like, is like, oh, like more like sweet and like AB is like spicy?
I don't know that it was that distinct. I don't recall if it was. I just remember there, because True Blood was the name of the like I forget what the word is called, but the fake blood that they would sell, and they sold it in like, oh, this is this A negative, whatever. And I remember the vampires had preferences.
Is True Blood the one with Suki Stackhouse?
Yes, Suki. Yeah,
Suki.
It's Suki. It's not Suki like in Gilmore Girls.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I think that probably Buffy goes around, breaks into the local hospital, steals a couple of bags, and goes on her way. Like, she's the Slayer. She can break into anything, go anywhere. I feel like it's not a matter of how she does it. It's like, how is she not going to get caught?
Yeah, I mean, whatever on the Angel stuff. Like, he's still around. They're going to date because, newsflash, boring Scott broke up with Buffy, which, yet again, Sarah, I'm getting pissed off at these shows where the boring ass guy gets to be the one to end it with our main character. Like, this man, you have some gall and nerve, Scott. You're so freaking boring, and you're the one who's going to end things with Buffy. Yeah.
Once again, letting the mid-men run the roost. But quite honestly, like, Scott's reasoning for breaking up with Buffy is extremely justified. Like,
oh, for sure.
He's like, you are very distracted. I feel like whenever we're together, you go and run off somewhere. I feel like you're not in this relationship. I would rather be with somebody that has like the time and the emotional capacity to be with me. Sometimes you don't even seem interested. And it's like, yes, that is all true. Absolutely. Plus, he has no idea what's going on with her. And she has no idea why she always hangs out in the library with the librarian, and why she just like disappears and is only available for like a 1 hour time period before she has to go slay. So I totally agree with you. Like, Scott Hope, no, was that his last name? I think so.
Oh, I think so, because that was the name of the one episode. Yeah.
So boring, uninteresting to me. I did not enjoy him. And of course it like stunk that he was the one that broke up with Buffy, but it was truly just so that Buffy can be freed up to date Angel. I thought the conversation that she had with Angel, being like, look, like, things are different now. Like, I'm a senior. I'm actually trying in school. I'm dating somebody. Like, you can't just come back, and we can't just jump into everything being the same before you got changed into
Yeah.
Angeles, like things are different now. And I think that was really good for her to be like, I am just trying to live a more normal life, whatever like my life could, like however my life could be normal, which is like impossible. And he looked like devastated when she told him that he was dating somebody else, or she was dating somebody else. He was like, how could you do this to me? It's like, well, what are you gonna, like, she's gonna
she's got to move on.
Wait 50 lifetimes for them to be together, as if.
It was just such a depressing episode for Buffy, especially at the beginning, because now she gets broken up with. She's like having a tough time trying not to like reconnect with Angel. She missed picture day, and that's all because Cordelia was supposed to tell Faith and Buffy, who I guess Faith goes to the school now, because she also goes to the homecoming dance. Supposed to tell them that it was picture day, and she didn't. And so Buffy missed picture day. And this is where, Sarah, you're going to think I'm crazy, but halfway through this episode, or however long through this episode, I was wondering if they had done some sort of like body snatcher, like memory loss situation here, because then Buffy tries to get the letter of recommendation that she needs to give to the principal. And this teacher of her favorite class doesn't know who she is, which feels like an indictment on the teacher more so than anything against Buffy. Like, you should probably know the students in your class, at least by name.
You should probably know, especially because these are probably like classes of 25, if that, and not giant lectures of like hundreds of people like in university. But that was, she kind of feels invisible. Like, once again, this goes back to like her not being able to be a normal high school student, her losing her identity from her school in LA and who she used to be prior to being a Slayer. I don't necessarily fault Cordelia for forgetting to tell Buffy about the picture day, because I mean, the Scoobies should have known that Cordelia was the least trusted person with this information. And also, doesn't Buffy have a responsibility to knowing when her own picture day is? Like, come on.
I guess it wasn't necessarily, okay, so I wasn't necessarily upset that Cordelia forgot. I cannot be upset about anybody forgetting anything.
Also, one more thing. I am positive that during homeroom, which is like your very first thing that you do, even in high school, they're like, okay, guys, like today's picture day. Like this is the time that you're going. So
my problem with Cordelia was more so that like when Buffy confronted her about for like not telling her, Cordelia was like, who cares? Like Cordelia didn't do any, like she's being like a total asshole this episode for like the first half of it, because she is so obsessed with being homecoming queen that she is like tearing down Buffy. Like there are moments where Cordelia says like, well, at least I have two parents. Like that is such a low blow and so unnecessary. Like I loved the crazy freak vapid whore comments. Great. Scream that someone's a vapid whore all day long. But like, don't get on their case about their dad not being around. Like that was brutal. That was way too far.
That was pretty rude. Yeah. But all's fair in love and homecoming, I guess. I don't know. I thought this was really funny. I really liked the homecoming queen thing, because once again, I just feel like I'm very drawn to like teenage drama. Like in reality, as an adult, like homecoming king and queen, it's just like, who the fuck cares? But to people like Cordelia, when you're 17, it means a whole lot. So, and I think it was like pretty interesting because like once again, like Cordelia, this is like all she has really. Like, of course she has the Scoobies and she has a boyfriend, and she has like more of a family that's together. But in reality, like, you know, she doesn't seem like the person that's going to like go off to a good university. She doesn't seem like she's going to have like I can see her being a news anchor, but I don't see her having like a really amazing career. She has less purpose than Buffy, because Buffy's like out there saving the world. Homecoming is important to Cordelia. And yes, I do think that Buffy should be free to run for homecoming queen as well. But I don't know. Like, I kind of felt bad for Cordelia because kind of like what she was saying, or what the Scoobies were saying later in the episode when they chose to help Cordelia's campaign over Buffy. It's just like, this kind of just means more to her. But also, does it? Because Buffy's like, she misses that aspect of her life. But also, she has more opportunities to do more things with her life.
Yeah, but I think this is, I agree with where I think both of them have every right to go after this if they want it, right? Like, that's why it's a campaign or whatever the heck. That's why it's an election of some sort. I understand where Buffy's coming from, where she's like, I want proof that I freaking existed in this school, that like I actually attended school, that my life is more than slaying. Because right now, that's what it feels like my entire life revolves around, is just slaying. And from Cordelia's perspective, that's a massive deal. You're saving lives. You're like protecting the town. But Buffy wants to be a normal teenage girl, and normal teenage girl goes to homecoming, wins homecoming queen. Like, that's why she wants to do it. And I think that I think it's Cordelia who kind of lights a fire under her in the first place. Like, Cordelia is kind of the one who sparks this in Buffy in the first place. So she's a little at fault for Buffy even wanting to run, in the first place. But I feel bad for both of them. Like, they obviously both very much want this, and neither of them end up winning, which is pretty funny.
Which I actually did like, because I just felt like, we didn't have to choose a favorite between the two of us. And also, I'm sure they have a lot of the same friends. So clearly, to me,
yeah, they split the vote.
Like, I knew that was going to happen.
This is why we need ranked choice voting.
What's ranked choice voting? I don't even know what that is.
Oh my gosh, yeah, ranked choice voting is like, okay, so if you're like, okay, there's three people.
Okay, I understand now.
Yeah,
like,
you're saying like, I'd vote for this person first, but if they don't win, my second option would be this one, because I really hate number 3.
Yes, I understand. Yeah, they totally split the vote, because obviously, like, and I am curious, like, who Willow, Xander, and Oz did vote for. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't vote for anybody.
Yeah, either they didn't vote. I think Willow would still be loyal to Buffy, because like behind the scenes she'll do stuff for Cordelia, but like no one knows who she voted for, so I think she would vote for Buffy. I think Oz would follow Willow and vote for Buffy, and Xander would probably just vote for Cordelia because he'd be too afraid that she would find out he didn't and like flay him. But yeah, I just have to say, Cordelia's campaign, you get more with Core. I feel like we could have done better than this, Cordelia. Like, there has to be a better catchphrase than this.
I don't mind it. I mean, as a person that like literally no other word besides mascara like rhymes with Sarah, like you really don't have a lot of wiggle room to go. So I remember there was like a Sarah that ran for student body president when I was in high school, and that was literally her slogan, like, nothing rhymes with Sarah besides mascara. And
that was her slogan.
That was on her line. It was
That's
funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, it was really good. So I understand, like, Cordelia is a very hard thing to rhyme. I really liked seeing the different signs and the campaigning, and I don't know. I just find signs so funny. Like, we just watched this student body president episode in Felicity not so long ago, and like these bitches were big on signs. Like, we were in the FedEx Kinkos printing out flyers like nobody's business in the 90s.
It was a lot of fun. They were working overtime. I loved the sound drop, the music, needle drop, sorry. Fire Escape by Fastball was playing during the campaigning scene. We got like a montage of the campaigning happening, as well as the fighting, like the training for the Slayerfest. And I was very excited. I did like this as like a staple of a teen drama, that there's a dance, that there's a homecoming queen and king, and there's like campaigning. I did really enjoy that. I also think it made a lot of sense that Buffy, the last person that she was, right? Like her personality pre-slaying was very much like Cordelia. We've talked about this. Like we think she was like a Cordelia at her old school.
Yeah.
And so it makes total sense that that's what she would revert back to, is like, no, I want to be the popular girl again. So I'm going to run for homecoming queen. And it kind of felt like they were bound to butt heads at some point. You know, they're both kind of like take charge women. So I feel like we kind of, this is kind of inevitable that we were going to have like a little bit of a Cordelia versus Buffy situation.
Yeah. And I think that it makes sense that they revert back to the competitiveness, because in the way they're still competing for Queen Bee. Like they're competing to be the leader of their little group. They're competing to be the popular girl at school. Like they're campaigning to be the same archetype in their world. So I think that hopefully we don't get this all the time and constantly. I think that it could definitely get old, but seeing it in this capacity worked for me, because I just thought, like, I really like when Buffy has that little bit of like spunk to her. I feel as though, especially when we have her up against like Faith or Cordelia, she comes off more as like the nice girl, or like the level-headed one, or like the one that like has to like rein in her feelings. And like once again, like she like there, I just don't feel like we get those like Buffy zingers that we got in the first season. It's just not as frequent because other people pick up the slack in the comedic relief department at times. So when we see this side of Buffy, which is like a bit petty, a bit competitive, like a bit snarky, it's really fun to see, because it just like is a reminder that like she's just a 17-year-old girl at the end of the day, right? Like she is not like above maturity levels than any of her peers. So I really liked it. Like I feel like we need these moments to kind of get Buffy to like reset, instead of like focusing on a 700-year-old vampire and like all of her responsibilities with Giles. Like we need her in these situations where she can just act like a kid again, or else like the character of Buffy is going to get like very tiresome.
Yeah, no, I agree with you that we have to see moments where she's a teenager, just like a teenage girl who has teenage girl problems and teenage girl feelings and emotions, and sometimes doesn't act like an adult would in that situation. I think this is also because we're already talking about homecoming and all that other stuff. I think this is where we should break down the outfits and who was our favorite. We talked a little bit already about Willow's. I couldn't tell, and you said it was black, so I 100% believe you. I couldn't tell if it was navy or black.
It could have been navy, but in my headcanon, I say black. Okay. I am obsessed. I think that she looks so freaking hot, so good. And especially compared to like the first outfit that she put on, which was like a little bit more like quirky and like boho-ish. When she put on that initial dress, I was like, ugh, this fucking dress is so fucking ugly.
It was
so
not
Willow.
good. Yeah, it was so bad.
Yeah, but when she put on this like with the typical 90s silhouette that was very like straight bodied, like showed off her beautiful figure. I thought that her hair looked really good. She looked beautiful. And I'm really glad that Allison Hannigan was able to have a moment where she probably felt really pretty instead of being forced to wear some like Oshkosh bagosh like bullshit.
I totally agree with you. Willow has my favorite dress of the bunch.
Oh yeah.
It's like this velvet sort of fabric as well. It's very, I prefer this sort of look anyway, where it's very simple, but it's like elegant as fuck. It's so nice looking. We talked a little bit about Xander already. He's wearing a suit with a bow tie, very simple, very massive, like shoulder pads. This is like, he looks like a linebacker.
Yeah. I think
a little bit of a, what is it? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think that his hair looks really good, and I think that you were about to say that he had like a pocket square.
Like a red pocket square.
I think he looks great. And I think that, I mean, it's interesting because he has a red pocket square, but his date's wearing green. That's like
I was going to note the same thing. Like Buffy's wearing red.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a faux pas. Like we could have done better. A little bit of maybe like a green bow tie. Like we could coordinate it a little bit better. But it looks sharp. And I think that like if Cordelia was wearing a red dress, then I would have like no notes.
I totally agree with you. And speaking of Cordelia, she's wearing a green gown, like shiny, kind of like satiny fabric.
Yeah, satin or sateen.
Was it like? Is this like a sweetheart neckline or something like that? Like a plunging sweetheart neckline?
Yeah. I mean, I really like the sweetheart neckline on her. I really like that silhouette on her. I don't know if I'm as much of a fan as the bottom of the dress as I am as the top, but I liked that had like a little bit of a thicker strap. It looked like maybe halterish, maybe not. I couldn't really tell.
It's hard to tell, yeah.
She has these like ugly little like slipper bullshits on.
The shoes are bad. The shoes are very bad.
Not great, but I also think it's because like she's a tall girl and she already towers over Sarah Michelle Gellar. And we probably can't have her like wear heels because then she'll like really look minuscule. And Sarah Michelle Gellar, I'm pretty sure, is wearing heels in her dress. She's wearing, you said red. It's like a reddy orange. Like I really don't like her dress at all, actually, because I just feel like it looks cheap. But I mean, it looks like she's wearing red heels. I don't know.
I preferred Buffy's to Cordelia's in terms of the color. I prefer red to green generally.
I think that green, it looks gorgeous on Cordelia.
I'm not a big fan of green, but I will say I thought Cordelia's hair, specifically post Slayerfest, looked the best it's ever looked. It's like effortless curls, and I thought it looked gorgeous. Whereas Buffy's hair, I wasn't as big a fan of. It's just like an updo. It's like, I don't know. It's not as pretty in my opinion.
Faith, you want to talk about Faith?
Yeah, Faith is wearing this like wine, like eggplanty wine colored dress, very 90s because it has those like spaghetti straps. It has some sort of like sheer like floral fabric over top of it. I can't quite make it out, but she has on like the, typical grunge, like grayish lipstick and like the, like what silver eye makeup, eyeshadow.
Yeah. I think she looks good too, like definitely. Like I continue to enjoy the fact that she has a different look than everybody else. It's a reminder that she's not from like Sunnydale, California. My general thoughts on Faith is that I just don't think that they're utilizing her enough.
Yeah, no, I would agree with you because she doesn't really have much to do this episode. And granted, she's only just gotten here, so maybe we should give it more time. But she is a girl's girl. She ruined Scott's date. She says that burning will clear up down there.
Yeah, good for Faith. I mean, like I love a girl's girl. I love how she's just like, looking out for Buffy in her own way. And the training with Buffy is really interesting as well. Just having each other learn their techniques. I think that just will make them become better Slayers. I just think that like I would have expected her to be more of a prominent character this season. But I mean, we're only 4 episodes in. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, I think she will be. I think we're early in the season still.
Yeah.
And Oz was wearing some sort of like reddish sort of. I tried to get a photo of him, but he's barely there at the dance, and it has like this like red hue to it. It looks fine. It's kind of whatever.
I want to talk about while Buffy was prepping for her campaign for Homecoming Queen, she had a whiteboard.
Yes, we need to talk about this.
This was amazing, actually. I was very excited about this when I saw it. So this board is like broken up as such. Like, so she's competing against 3 people: Cordelia, some bitch named Michelle, and some other bitch named Haley. I don't know.
Who cares? It doesn't matter.
So And so it has the pictures. It has a temperature thing. So, and I don't know if like the temperature thing is like a hotness scale or like a popularity scale or how much of a threat they are. That was not explained, but underneath the picture, the thermometer are strengths and weaknesses of each of the girls. So I feel like we should save Cordelia for last. So
yeah, let's go through Michelle and Holly first.
Okay, Holly. So Holly's strengths are her debate skills. She's a straight A student. She's part of the drill team. She's good in sports. She's always studying. She's nice and she's sweet. She sounds like just a good girl.
Yeah, she sounds boring as fuck.
Okay, her weaknesses are as followed. She only has a few friends, so she's a fucking loser.
What a bird. She only has a few friends.
A few friends. New student. No boyfriend. What a fucking prude.
Wow.
A virgin who can't drive. She's an introvert and she is always studying. What a loser.
And yet she wins. She co-wins.
Co-wins. Okay. Michelle is up next. Michelle's strengths is she's a popular cheerleader. She's athletic. She is the yearbook editor. She's friendly. She's a good cook and nice. How do we know she's a good cook?
Yeah, how the hell does Buffy know that? I do think yearbook editor is underrated though, because if people are like, I want my photo in the yearbook more, she's the girl you're going to go to.
Yeah. So I mean, in first glance, I would have thought that Michelle was a bigger competitor than Holly, but also I'm pretty convinced that the votes are split. So this is part of the problem. Her weaknesses are, I'm going to have to try to find a better screenshot because I don't know if I can see all of it, but bad skin. So she has an acne problem. That's sad for her.
Sad for her.
She wears polyester. That is a big con and very embarrassing. I think this says boy crazed.
Boy crazed, yes. Which
boy crazed.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess distract her with a boy maybe is the key.
That's one for weaknesses. Dandruff. That is embarrassing.
So mean to put this on a whiteboard.
Dandruff is so embarrassing.
Yeah.
She wears too much makeup.
Yes.
Is another con. So that is a big weakness of hers. And the last one is, do you know what the last one is?
I can't quite tell what it,
okay,
what it says.
I need
it's
to go pull it up because you took terrible screenshots.
I tried. She's moving around constantly.
I was able to read all of them. I just didn't take the screenshots to, I didn't put my money where my mouth is, unfortunately. But so are you more threatened by Holly or by Michelle at this moment?
I think I'm more threatened by Michelle. I think Michelle, being the yearbook editor, is massive. Yeah. She's friendly. She's nice. She's a popular cheerleader. Like all of these things I think are massive strengths. Whereas I think Holly, like she has debate skills. Like who the fuck cares about debate skills? You're not debating anything in Homecoming, you know? A straight A student.
Okay. Too much. Yes. She never studies. That's the
who cares? What does that have to do with anything?
Wait, and also it's not boy crazy. She's PB crazed. What do you think PB crazed?
Peanut butter? She loves peanut butter?
Yeah, I was like, she's obsessed with peanut butter.
What a fucking weirdo. Who's obsessed with peanut butter?
I was like, PB craze. Like, what does it mean? It's PB craze. She just loves peanut butter. That is a big weakness of hers because peanut butter, a tablespoon, is 100 calories. And sometimes you just like take the little thing of peanut butter and eat the whole thing as a snack. And the next thing you know, you've eaten like 1,200 calories. That's very embarrassing. That's a big weakness.
Wow.
Okay, let's get to the real issues.
Yeah, Cordelia.
Strengths, popular with boys, makes friends easily, has money to buy votes, expensive.
Which she did. We saw her doing.
She did.
$6 on votes.
There were, like Buffy was giving away cupcakes and Cordelia was giving away candy baskets. So it's a big thing. And then expensive clothes. And the final pro or strength is perfect teeth. And I am pretty obsessed with Cordelia's teeth. Like I'm always looking at her teeth. She has beautiful teeth. Okay.
I would agree with that. Yeah.
Weaknesses: manipulative, two-faced, bad in sports, superficial, no sense of humor, which I think is not true, but
No, it's not true.
fake smile. Brie.
Brie, like the cheese?
Brie. Brie.
Brie. She is cheese.
What
does that mean?
I don't know, Brie. That's what I was seeing. Like I was
What
like,
does that
my biggest
mean?
questions when I saw the whiteboard initially was Michelle's peanut butter obsession.
I remember questioning that as well. Yeah.
And Cordelia's Brie. Like, why Brie? I don't know.
She's Brie.
And finally, Cordelia's biggest weakness is Xander. And as a reminder, Xander was literally in the room.
And she wonders why he goes to Cordelia's side.
I loved this. This was so freaking funny.
And it doesn't work. Like this whiteboard does nothing because then everyone ditches her to go to Cordelia's side.
Yeah, they're like, she needs us more. But I was very tickled by the whiteboard. I wonder who sat here and wrote up all these things about these fake people. And I really want to just know more about the peanut butter, really.
I want to know. I have questions about the Brie and the peanut butter. That is what I have questions
not
about.
Brie the cheese, then what is it? I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Oh my gosh. So funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So the last thing we have to talk about is Slayerfest 98.
I get it. It's her weakness. Brie's her weakness. Like
she loves Brie.
Yeah. She can't resist having Brie.
What? How are you going to exploit this weakness is my question.
Well, I guess it's like you leave like Brie out and then Cordelia's distract her. And she's like, oh wait, I need to eat this Brie.
This is so easy because you put out Brie for Cordelia and peanut butter for Michelle and you're good to go.
Yeah, I guess like that's what it is. Like I guess Buffy's like plan to win Hoko Queen is I am going to distract everybody with their favorite foods. And then we'll distract Holly by studying. We'll just put out books and then he has no friends to remind her to stop studying. So
oh my gosh. I'm dying at her weakness being Brie. And it's like, oh my God, that's so funny. That is so funny. Oh my gosh.
She loves Brie. I mean, I guess. I don't really get Brie because it's like
I don't like Brie.
Is it gooey? Is it hard?
I don't like soft cheeses like that. Like it's just weird.
Do you eat the outer hard part?
You don't. I don't think. I haven't, at least in the past.
Like I don't really understand Brie, and I mean, everybody knows I don't really like cheese, so
it's honestly one of your worst qualities.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I do like pepper jack, I guess, but
okay.
I don't know. I can live my entire life without having another piece of cheese, and I'd be.
I
totally
couldn't.
fine.
I could not. Okay, let's talk through Slayerfest 98 because I'm here for Mr. Trixie because marketing is everything. And the fact that he calls it Slayerfest 98. He set up like a VCR and television in the woods just for the story, just for the plot. He's like, this is going to be epic. There's going to be a VCR she has to hit play. And there's a lot happening in this episode. So we have a whole squad basically formed by Mr. Trixie. In the squad, we have two German twins that are super creepy.
Why not? Yes.
We have Kulak of the Meatquat clan, who is basically a yellow fish guy.
Oh, he's the spiky dude.
He throws throwing stars, basically. Yes.
Okay.
We have the Southern Vampire, Mr. and Mrs. Gorch. Quite the names on them.
And I'm pretty sure we saw his brother. Like there was like a reference and we've seen.
Yeah, his brother died.
Yeah, his brother died. We've seen this before. So this is a continuation of that.
Yeah. We have what I have termed, because I don't know that he had a name, Professor Xavier that has hair, which is old white man in a wheelchair who reminded me of Professor X from X-Men.
It seems like he's running it.
He seems like the technology man.
Okay.
He's the one who's like in charge of all the gizmos. And then we have like rando guy with a bear trap.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there may have been more people, but those were the people that I clocked.
Okay,
And-
so somebody put out like Mr. Tricks put out a newspaper ad and says,
Yes.
"Are you a Slayer killer? Are you a Slayer of the Slayers? If so, join this contest and you can win a year's supply of Outback Steakhouse gift cards."
Exactly. Yes. And these were the people that showed up. And what's interesting is so they're on the case. They're going to take down not just one, but two Slayers. They want to take down Buffy and Faith.
Yes.
And so it seems like Mr. Tricks is getting the help of Professor X to do this. But we now know one rung up the ladder in terms of what the hell's going on in society. We've met the mayor, who seems like a real dick.
He's definitely not human. He has like yellow eyes and he cannot be trusted. And he has like a weird cleaning thing. Like
why? He's like, oh, did you wash your hands, Mr. Assistant? Let me see them.
He's a little OCD, probably because like, I don't know, maybe he's like a dust mite that is in human form. And he's just like, I can't be with other dust, like only the purest dust. So
that's my favorite theory you've ever come up with.
Yeah.
He's a dust mite.
He's a dust mite.
I think, wait, did we see him make physical contact with anyone this episode?
I highly doubt it because he would never. He's like Howie Mandel. He's like, I can't I can't give you a high five and I can't shake your hand. I'll give you an elbow bump. That's all I'll do. Yeah. Because your dust particles are disgusting to me. Your germs are gross. I do not like it. I have yellow eyes like all my other dust mite friends.
And we did see at one point Mr. Tricks has like some yellow eyes too, but I don't think that the mayor is a vampire. Although I do think he's on the bad guy side because when the assistant brings in the German twins and is like, we got to watch out for these guys. He's like, yeah. But what about your clean hands? And then he invites Mr. Tricks. Mr. Tricks gets like arrested, but like secretly it ends up being a meeting with the mayor. Yeah. And he's like, I love your moxie, kid. Like, I love what you got going on here. Slayerfest 98, brilliant. It's like he's heard of Coachella for the first time. Like he's totally into this.
And he's like, and your nails are very nicely buffed.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. I have no problems with you, Mr. Tricks. You have to join my creative team.
Yeah, he wants an even bigger goon squad with Mr. Tricks involved.
Yeah, and this year it's really, really important because he says children are not our future because children fuck things up. So, and this is an election year and children can't even vote. Well, he doesn't say, he says it's something like an election year. I think that means this year there is an old ass prophecy. Some old ass witch bitch back in the day said, Sunnydale in the year 1998 will become inside out and all the dust mites will run the roost. And he said, I need the Slayer to not fuck this up because my grandfather's dust mites and my grandfather's grandfather's dust mites are here. And we literally need to come out from the underworld.
Wow.
Yeah. And he basically the moral of the story is that we can't have Buffy or Faith or whomever interfere because something is a coming and this is my year to shine.
Yes. Yeah. He wants the Slayers out of his way because he needs to be the one that's getting all the spotlight on him. He wants to be in charge. I think he's definitely some sort of mythological creature. I don't think he's a dust mite, but I do think he's some sort of mythological creature that doesn't like dirt. I'm trying to think of like what kind of animal a cat. Cats clean themselves constantly. Maybe he's secretly a cat. But either way, I'm happy that we're building the world out. We now have met the mayor, who seems like a total asshole. He's going to be working with Mr. Trixie. Yeah.
Is he Mr. Clean? Because is Mr. Clean not a genie?
Oh my gosh, you're brilliant. He's a genie.
He's a genie.
This is my favorite. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know if Mr. Clean is a genie. Is Mr.
I believe it. Maybe he just
genie?
looks like one because he's blonde.
Okay, hold on. According to Procter & Gamble, the original model for the image of Mr. Clean was the United States Navy sailor from the city of Pensacola, Florida. Although some people think he's a genie based on his hearing, folded arms, and tendency to appear magically at the appropriate time.
Perfect. Okay.
He's not a genie. He's just actually a Navy officer.
But he looks like a genie, so now he's a genie. No, I'm here for this. I'm here for this theory that he is a genie. I love this theory. Yes. Okay, so the mayor is a genie, and we have to watch out for him because he doesn't like Buffy and Faith, the Slayers. But I loved the use of technology this episode where the corsages have trackers in them. Yeah. And so Cordelia and Buffy, they think Cordelia is Faith because somehow they've never seen a picture of Faith. So, okay, whatever. All brunettes look the same.
Like a brunette girl, it's all the same.
Yeah, definitely all brunette women the same. And so they get caught in this whole Slayerfest thing. And my favorite was the grenade, the freaking rocket launcher that was shot into the cabin. The cabin explodes. This was incredible. I love the move from Buffy to hide the corsages and then get the twins to shoot at each other. That was incredible.
That was very smart. I liked when Cordelia grabbed the spatula and Buffy was like, "You are stupid. See you next Tuesday." But then that's how she killed somebody with a spatula. That was great.
Well, also then Cordelia, she's like, "Cordelia, the gun," and she grabs the gun and shoots wildly. And she's like, "Never mind, Cordelia, the spatula." I changed my mind.
Yeah. Cordelia is so good.
I really enjoyed the Cordelia. I enjoyed a lot of the Cordelia Buffy stuff this episode. I thought it was we kind of make fun of like, oh, the kiki, punchy, like whatever. I thought a lot of the action scenes in this episode particularly were really good because we got a good variety. We got a bomb, we got a spatula, we got like this guy throwing with throwing stars, we got bear traps, we got Cordelia talking her way out of getting eaten.
Yeah, that was
incredible.
Good. Yeah.
So much to love. I mean, if it didn't have the Willow and Xander stuff, I'd be like 10 out of 10 on this episode. But overall, I thought it was a really interesting episode and a really good one in terms of like stage setting. Because now we have like multiple villains. The mayor is in on it. So there's like just a lot going on that I feel like they're kind of setting the stage for the season.
Yeah, everybody is saying that this is kind of like the kickoff episode. Like from now on, shit's gonna get good. So I'm really looking forward to see kind of where this is going and seeing how we deal with Mr. Tricks, and then when are we going to see Drew Lulu and Spike again? Like they're coming. Obviously, Angel's gonna have to get out of the basement eventually and come back to the real world. So there's a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, a lot happening. I'm really excited about it. Are you ready to hear the title of? Oh wait, we did get feedback. Let me do the I'll do the title first. Why not?
Okay,
I can't decide.
Right.
Season 3, episode 6, Band Candy.
Oh no, it's a Halloween
thing.
I think it's a Halloween episode.
Oh, Candy. I was just thinking because Oz is the one in a band, but yes. Candy.
Is it, wait, hold on. Is it BANNED or BAND?
Oh, no, band like a guitar, band, like you're in a band.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, then it's probably.
But it could be a Halloween episode. What if we get, if we're getting a Halloween episode, I'm going to say they're going to do the trope where someone's in a costume and they think it's someone else and you kiss them and then they take their mask off and it turns out it's a different person.
Sure.
That's my guess.
Okay.
We did get feedback from Sophie that says this last episode wasn't great, but for what it's worth, I would say that most, if not everyone, would agree that this is the worst episode of the season. This is last episode she's talking about. The werewolf one. So you can look forward to that. I would say at most season 3 has like 4 clunker episodes, and some people might even have fewer episodes than that. Season 3 is just strong and has great episodes. Regarding Angel's return, he was returned to Sunnydale. That's why he could locate Buffy so easily. He was returned to the spot where Buffy left the ring. The Angel feralness of it all in my headcanon is that as he was ensouled right before he went to hell, so like he got his soul back, being in hell was even more traumatic to him than most.
Yes,
so when he returned to Earth, he's clearly traumatized and discombobulated, and he's just acclimating to being back on this plane and no longer suffering. He was always meant to return good Angel as he left as good Angel, and he was never really supposed to be a monster again, just trying to acclimate to his new reality. I agree that the speed at which he acclimated was too fast, but then again, one episode of Feral Angel was enough for me. I think it would have really tested the audience's patience if this went on for more episodes.
Very, very good point. Yeah. Like, I do think that makes sense. Like, your headcanon that like it hit him harder because he was like a nice guy or a guy with a soul getting sent to hell. And I also do think it makes a lot of sense that he evaporated or apparated or appeared at the same spot that the ring got dropped. So that all makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I like the explanation from Sophie. Also, Sophie said, "P.S. I randomly rewatch Now and Then this weekend and wanted to see if you had an episode for it. And what a nice surprise that you did! Such a fun episode to listen to.
Yeah. I love Now and Then. I feel like it's just one of those like really feel good movies. It just like warms my heart. Loved it since I was a kid. I like am kind of mind blown that I live in the same state at the moment that Now and Then took place. I'm like fangirling just thinking of it. So I adore Now and Then. It's
so good.
It's the best. It's simply the best. And we briefly touched on it a little bit in our Hocus Pocus episode.
Yeah. We did talk about it because the actress is the same.
Thora Birch, something like that.
If you say so. I have no idea.
It's definitely Thora, and it's definitely with a B, and it's definitely with a CH at the end. Definitely, definitely, absolutely, definitely.
Well, that was our episode for Homecoming. Next week we'll talk about Band Candy. I can't wait to see what's up with that episode. Anything else, Sarah? Anything else we should be pointing people to besides shitnightiespod.com, leaving us ratings and reviews, 5 stars, all of that fun, exciting stuff?
Yeah, I mean, if you didn't listen to our Hocus Pocus episode, definitely listen to that. That was a lot of fun. We also have a whole bunch of backlog of Halloween episodes. If you are in the Halloween spirit, we have Halloween Town 1, Halloween Town 2. We have Casper. We have, what did we do last year? Last year we did Practical Magic. And I think that we did
the curse, not the curse, the
craft.
The craft.
I think we also did the Addams Family.
We've done both of the Addams Families. We've done 1 and 2.
Yeah. So if you are in the Halloween spirit, go check that out. One of these
we did. I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, we've done that. Yeah. One of these days we need to do another spooky one, and we've never done Scream, and I feel like that is probably the next that we should do.
I have screamed. So that's good news. So it's not like I've never screamed. I have screamed.
Okay. So you won't be too afraid. But yeah, like I think that I Know What You Did Last Summer is a great option, especially because Sarah Michelle Gellar. And if you love Sarah Michelle Gellar, which I assume that you do because you watch Buffy, we've also covered Cruel Intentions. So
yeah. So go check out all of those.
Oh, and we've also covered American Pie if you like Allison Hannigan.
Oh yeah, so much crossover potential.
Yeah, so,
definitely.
Yeah. So if you're not somebody that has like explored our bonus content, like we have a huge backlog, and if you go onto our website www.shit90spod.com and you go to like the top tab, and you can go to bonus content and you can see all the movies that we've covered.
Yeah, we've covered a lot over these past 4-ish years.
Yeah, I think we've covered more than 70. I don't know. Maybe more.
Have we?
I think I just pulled that
made up a
number out of
number.
my ass. Yeah.
Bonus 79.
There we go.
You were right.
Yeah.
Also, breaking news.
Mhm.
I forgot to mention, joining us next week will be our favorite librarian, Todd.
Oh,
Talk about the
Todd.
Which definitely lends credence, doesn't matter, to your statement. It is probably a Halloween episode because Todd is a huge Halloween fan.
I'm such a genius.
You really are. You nailed it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think that's everything we have for you. So I'm going to go back to being depressed about Willow and Xander. I hope everyone has a fabulous week, and we'll talk to you all next time. Here endeth the lesson.
Just ask. Shit 90 shows taught me.
Shit 90 Shows Taught Me was not filmed before a live studio audience.